Welcome to our Spotlight interview series, bringing to you the best film industry professionals from around the world. I'm your host, Chetna. Today's guest is Guillaume Sanjorge, a pioneer in audiovisual content production. He's one of the most viewed French online creators as listed by the prestigious National Library of France. Hello, Guillaume. Welcome to 72 Dragons. We're delighted to have you with us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me today.
Let me tell you more about today's guest. Guillaume is a French actor, director, and audiovisual producer. He founded his own digital content distribution studio in 2007 at the age of 17. He also established his audiovisual content production company in 2011. Through these institutions, he's produced several works and offered training for budding actors and filmmakers. Guillaume co-wrote, directed, and produced the historical comedy miniseries Dracula and Gandolfi in 2010. He has also been revolutionizing the genre of vertical microdramas with his work in Dwanju projects such as Amber, Under the Sky of Paris, and Next Door Adventure. Next Door Adventure made history as the first original French production to be streamed on Stardust TV, where it is available in 8 languages as well. He also recently launched Dwanju News, a media outlet covering major developments in this emerging format of storytelling. So let's begin today's interview with a little insight into your background. Can you tell us more about your early days in the film and television industry?
My story started in 2007. I created Studio Phocéen. It was an association for short films and online video. At that time, Dailymotion was very important in France. We joined the first creator program. It was called Motion Maker. They were featured in a special section on Marseille. It's a French city. Our video and short film were shown there, and that is where everything started for me. I did not begin traditional cinema or television. I began on the internet. I often say I am a child of the internet. It is on the web that I started to create, to share my work, and to understand the link between a work and its audience.
Yes, and my next question is about your series, Dracula and Gandolfi. Something I found really interesting is you shared that you've drawn inspiration from characters like Asterix and Obelix for this project. So can you tell us about the process of creating this series and what was the filming process like?
Dracula et Gandolfi was my first big project. It was made for the internet and for television. We use a mixed model distribution model. The series was shown online, on 4 cable channel and on the local TV channel in Marseille. It was a medieval project. It had a comics book spirit. The characters were colorful and the tone was funny and popular. Some French media compare it to Asterix and Obelix and also to Camelot. I don't know if you know that. There is a strong reference in French for medieval comedy. We also work with famous French actors, for example, Jean-Pierre Castaldi, Daniel Prévost, and Marthe Villalonga. It was a very important step for me. Today, the series has a new life. It was adapted into Dwanju format under the name King Gandolfi. It is now available on Dwanju.kids. Because it was already for a young audience, we thought it was a good idea to bring it back in a vertical format from phones.
Right, and that brings me to my next question, which is about Dwanju itself. So for our viewers who may not be familiar with this term, Dwanju is a format of storytelling that refers to vertical format microdramas. So this format presents stories in a shorter, addictive, and catchy way. Viewers can watch them from the comfort and convenience of their own smartphones. They're also available in many languages, including English and Spanish, which makes them accessible to a wider range of audiences. So Guillaume, can you tell us more about Dwanju and what drew you to this format of visual media?
In 2023, I started to see the phone as a real screen for fiction. In France, I felt there were not enough fiction formats made for phones. That is why I launched several series. One of them was Next Door Adventure. At first, the project had a strong start on Facebook. Some episodes reached several 100,000 views. Then the series was distributed on a Chinese platform called Stardust TV. To my knowledge, We were among the first in the France and maybe in Europe to export this kind of French fiction to an Asian platform. What I like in Dwanju, it is energy. It tells story in a direct and powerful way. The characters can be strong, emotional, funny, or charismatic. I also love working with actors. The vertical frame gives a lot of importance to the face, the eyes, and the reaction. I think this format has a strong future. This is also why I launched Dwanju News. I want to explain the format and follow its development around the world. I also launched Dwanju.fr and other versions in other languages so people could discover this work easily online.
Yeah, and I'm also curious, can you tell us how do microdramas differ from traditional films and series, especially in the production process?
Personally, I prefer the word Dwanju. I think microdrama is too descriptive. For me, Dwanju is a new generation of fiction. In production, one big difference is that the teams can be smaller. Everything is more focused. The frame is tighter. The rhythm is faster. The production is lighter. This is help smaller companies produce fiction more easily. But for me, the biggest difference is distribution. For a long time, web series had the trouble finding a real business model. Today, Dwanju is fully made for phones. There is a real audience and clear way to share it and make money. Another difference is the writing. Dwanju needs suspense, rhythm, and strong endings. Each episode must make people want to watch the next one. So the writing must be fast, direct, and efficient.
Right, and if I may ask, can you share with us what are the challenges you faced in bringing this format to France and the European entertainment industry as a whole?
I think France can lead in Europe in this field, but at the beginning, the hardest part is to convince people. You must explain the format, you must create interest. That is one reason why I launched Dwanju News. I wanted to help people understand this format better. Some people judge the format too quickly. I think they confuse the format with the quality of some works. But a format is only a tool. What matters is what creators do with it. I believe French creators can make Dwanju work that are ambitious, sensitive, and popular. I also think it is good to have more channels for fiction. If a format reduces cost and opens creation to more professional people, I think it is positive. For me, the phone should also be a place for scripted fiction, not only for short, spontaneous content. Things are changing now. I think people are starting to understand this better.
Right, that's really interesting to hear. My next question is about your upcoming projects. So, your latest series, The Brothers Minute, is currently streaming online. So, can you tell us more about your upcoming projects?
Yes, in fact, it is not exactly my latest series in a strict sense. Between 2023 and 2025, we launched several series at that time. Depending on opportunities, we distribute them on different platforms. So the timeline is not always simple. For example, the Bros Minute is on Instagram, dwanju.fr, and our English and Spanish website. Soon, we also want to add more language, especially Italian. This will help us reach a wider audience. In the future, we are preparing partnership with major French productions. I cannot say too much yet, but in coming weeks or months, there may be announcements. This project may involve major personality followed by many people and on social media. My role is to both creative and strategic. I am helping with the structure of this project, the choice of directors, and the general direction. For me, this is an important step for the development for French Dwanju.
That's really interesting to hear. We can't wait to find out more news about your upcoming projects. So, before we conclude today's session, is there anything you'd like to share with our audiences? Perhaps a message for film enthusiasts and budding filmmakers?
I will also like to mention another important audiovisual adventure for me. It is called Sous le ciel de Paris. It is a bit different from Dwanju. We create nostalgic and aesthetic video about French city. Some images are optimized with artificial intelligence, but the project always have a real narration and a strong editorial vision. This is not exactly Dwanju, but it comes from the same interest in new ways of telling story on digital platform. Sous le ciel de Paris now has more than 400,000 followers on Facebook. The video I narrate were got over 6 million views in the first quarter of this year. This proves there is a real online audience for poetic, visual and storytelling. And for young creator, I want to say something simple. Today, the internet lets you test many ideas and many formats. So do not be afraid to try to publish and to see what connects with the audience. Here is my advice. Tell story what match you. I wish I had this advice before. If you're starting out and creating with friends, your strength is your word, your energy and your voice. That is often where sincerity begins. And sincerity is often where the real strength is.
Thank you so much. That's really inspiring words. So that brings us to the end of today's session. Guillaume, thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights with us today.
Thank you very much for this conversation. I hope the audience and our media enjoy this interview.
I hope our audiences enjoyed this discussion too. Stay tuned to our channel for more interesting conversations on the ever-evolving landscape of international cinema. See you next time.